Hey, what's up everybody? Down here at Hive Number 6, which is in the second position. So before I smoke them, this front entrance, or pop the top and give the bees some smoke, let's take a look at the front entrance. So as you can see, I left the entrance reducer on with the larger opening. And Hive Number 6 is one of potentially 5 hives that has survived the 2.5 month break between inspections. So if you, one second. So if you did not catch the introduction video this week, I would advise you watch it. I do a lot of explaining, mainly due to my absence between hive inspections. But a brief recap, the last time I was in the hives was mid-July, mainly due to work. So with that being said, check out the introduction video, and that explains quite a few things. So anyway, it's been 2.5 months since I inspected the hive. I have not been feeding them at all, whether that is open feeding or the division board feeding. And I've also had not fed the hives any pollen substitute for the year. So let me give the front entrance a smoke. We'll pop the top, I'll give them some smoke, and probably talk some more, let them settle down, and then we'll get into them and see what they're up to. So one of the nice things that I've already noticed due to this time of year, and the colonies have probably swarmed a few times in the last 2 months, but this time of year there's noticeably fewer bees, or at least that's my experience, because I just got done inspecting hive number 1, check out that video, and I moved right next door to hive number 6, right? So in July and earlier this season, if I did that, the camera would be swarmed and covered with bees, as many of y'all have probably noticed, because the comments that I get is, you know, on some of the videos like, hey, I can't hear you. Rightfully so, because the camera is covered, literally covered with bees, and I have not figured out how to prevent that. So still taking any tips if anybody has any ideas out there. All right, so here we go. Hive number 6. Quick check of the bottom side of the top cover for the queen, because I do not have a queen excluder on. That's just some propolis. This should have a pretty nice sound. Yeah, it's decently sealed. Alright, same thing. Just looking for a queen. And again, because it's been quite a few months, I really can't speak to whether or not the queen is marked or not marked, because of the probability they may have swarmed. So surprisingly, given the entrance activity, I thought I'd see a little more activity, more bees up in the top box here, because they do have some nicely drawn wax. So let's move through the top box as quick as possible. I'm still gonna be looking for stuff, but there seems like there might not be much to look for. There's not too many bees up here. Alright, well there's a few. But yeah, look at this nice wax. I do remember from July, I added the top box with frames, this being one of them because of how it's messed up a little bit. That some of the frames that I use for the honey harvest, the bees repair them very, very fast, but then I had high hopes that they would have used the frames to expand the brood chamber, because I've done this in the past and I've had pretty good success with it, but for some reason it looks like the bees aren't up in the top box here, which means the queen's not in the top box. So there's a reason for that, and that's what I'm going to try to figure out. as I move through the boxes. Because this time of year, last year, or maybe the year before, because I wasn't around last year, again, due to work. If you're not noticing a theme there, work takes me away a lot more than I would like. But maybe the year before, sometime in the last few years, how about that? I did this exact same thing. The bees moved up into the top box fairly quickly. I think I was also feeding them pretty heavily between open feeding and directly feeding in the hives with division board feeders. And the bees used a lot of that feed to store as food stores, but that also prompted the queens to move up into the top box and use it to expand the brood chamber, which is what I thought I would see right now. Alright, so the front activity makes sense. We have bees in here, and it seems like a decent amount. They're not blowing up like summertime where all the frames are covered and everything, but at least there's a decent amount in there. Hopefully that's a better angle. So let's see what we can figure out here. At a bare minimum, I want to at least see some eggs, so I know they're queen right, and hopefully everything just looks healthy. All right, first frame, more of a placeholder. Don't really ever expect to find anything on the first frame. Sometimes, same thing with the second frame. And if I have a division board feeder in, the box is actually ran as an 8 frame, because you can fit 9 frames with the division board feeder, but I'm telling you right now, it's extremely tight. And this past season, so those are some newer looking bees. This past season I decided it's just not worth the struggle to try to, or to have to pry out frames as much as I was, due to how tight it makes it. I'm just looking at a few cells that these bees are focused on to see why they're focusing on those cells. I don't see any eggs or anything. So we'll just continue to move on down the frames and see what we can figure out. Alright, so this is a good sign, finally. This is what you want to see. That is a decent amount of bees. Nice patch of capped brood. That's a newly hatched looking bee, all dusty and stuff. So at this point I am definitely taking my time to look for eggs and or the queen. And you can see they're pretty calm too, which is nice. Not too much going on this side. Alright, satisfied with what I see. I don't see the queen. I am taking my time though, because sometimes they are extremely elusive. But the next frame looks even better. So that frame on the top, I have an arrow. Actually, the frame before that, I didn't really notice. And the next frame, so the last 3 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm assuming that was from July, which was the last inspection. This box, or these frames, had 6 queen cells. So that's all I do. I used last season's paint marker, and as you can see, there's an arrow there, and you can still see there's evidence of a pretty large queen cell. So with that indicator, I have to remind myself I am most likely looking for an unmarked queen. So to mentally shift focus to where I'm not looking for a white dot, Because whenever you assume that, and I've done this in the past, you're telling yourself to look for something very specific, and I've actually visually brushed over an unmarked queen because I was telling myself to look for a marked queen. I would not be surprised if I find the queen on the very last frame. That's happened more times than it hasn't, and I've mentioned that quite often if you watch my videos. But yeah, these bees are very calm, which is nice. All right, moving along. This frame actually has some weight to it. Which is a good thing, and for the first time I can see some larvae. I usually say pupated larvae, but somebody commented on one of my videos there's no such thing, so apologies if I was using a term improperly. There's another looks like a queen cell there or something, but the top bar wasn't marked at all. Alright, I do want to look for some eggs because that patch of brood looks pretty nice. I do see some larvae that's not capped yet, or brood that's not capped. And let's see what I can find. I'm battling my own shadow. Okay, which makes sense. So I was looking over here, hopefully y'all can see that. Didn't see any eggs, but right here, to the left of this cat brood, in between some other patchy brood, yeah, there's eggs for sure. So they have a queen. I would love to find her. I have another frame or two to go. Most of the time, they are extremely good at not being found. Alright, pretty convinced she's not on this frame. Let's take a look at the next few frames. And don't ever dismiss a frame, and the reason why I say that is because I've done that in the past, and then I'll go back through and check the frames again, and the very last frame that has absolutely, like, there is no reason to find a queen on the frame because it is just plastic foundation. Like, there's no business for her to be there. I've found her there. Oh wow. If y'all can see that by my thumb in one of the cells there, it's a small hive beetle. And the reason I bring attention to that is, for whatever reason, I usually don't find any small hive beetles. I've had really good luck over the years for reasons unknown to myself. And that's a wax moth. Fantastic. I'm finding all kinds of stuff. But I'm not finding the queen, which would be, that'd be a pretty cool thing to find. Yeah, I don't see her at all. She's here. They have eggs. And they're bringing in pollen because they're feeding brood. So I'm going to go through them one more time rather quickly. I've done this in the past and it actually works out. And the reason I do this is because, one, I just want to 100% make sure they have a queen. And if I don't find her, I'm also fine with that because there's enough signs that they have queens in the form of eggs and everything. But sometimes I'll go back through the hives and that's all it takes for the queen to basically to show herself. Starting to smoke myself where I'm standing. Alright. Convinced she's not there. Basically have really just 2 more frames to look at. And it may sound weird, but the time in between inspections, I feel like it almost untrains your eye. Because I've been pretty good this year at finding queens rather quickly. But I feel a little rusty right now. Which, you know, no big deal. Again, they have enough signs that they're queen right between the eggs and everything, so it's more just for, it's really just for peace of mind. Alright. Maybe check one more frame. I think this is the last frame that has a decent amount of bees on it. Some of them are moving really fast. Some bees are bringing in a very nice white pollen. Yep, almost thought I had her. It's definitely not her. There's a lot of bees on the bottom board too, so there's a chance she's down there. That's a spot that I typically don't really look at, because you'll usually find her on a frame. Alright, one more frame to double check, and then I'll close them up and just move on to the next one. I'm also enjoying my time because it's been a while, and when the bees are calm like this, it's surprisingly pretty enjoyable if you're into keeping bees. Alright, well, you know, I don't see her. Kudos to her for being pretty darn elusive, but they have eggs. They have a queen. She just doesn't want to be found, so not much you can do at that point. Alright, let me put the top box back on, talk about a few things, and move on to the next colony. Oh, almost forgot. Wouldn't that be something if she was on the inner cover, even though I checked. Alright, again, relatively quick look at Hive Number 6. They are still alive. Not very strong, so I have to come up with a plan for that to address basically, well, given the population of bees, they probably won't do well with this much space, so again, I'll just have to figure something out. But hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Cole's Farm here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. 9th and final inspection for 2021. So big thank you to everybody that has subscribed, to all of our future subscribers. And speaking of, if you haven't clicked the button, please do so. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You receive notifications of future videos, which there will be a few throughout the remainder of the year from this hive inspection. And if you're in or around the Jacksonville, North Carolina area and you're looking for honey, we do ship it. However, it is expensive. That's why I say if you're in the area and you're looking for honey, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. The content has changed. due to some technical difficulties, but the book now button is still there. Click on either one, it'll take you over to our Square website. We sell honey by appointment only. We're available 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We try to make ourselves available to accommodate most people's schedules. So pick a day and a time that works for you. You pay in advance, you make your appointment. Each 15-minute service window is for 1 jar of honey. So if you want 2 jars of honey, you have to book 2 15-minute windows, so you have to make 2 appointments. Still working out some kinks with the Square website, but for now, that's just how it works, right? So you pick your day and time, you make your appointment, you pay for your honey purchase, and then we leave it on our front porch. All this is communicated through the messaging service for easy pickup, and as we continue to do our part with social distancing, because we do have 2 small children that we're trying to keep safe. So again, thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe. Please follow us on Instagram. Please like us on Facebook. And you can leave a review on Facebook. You can also leave a review on our Google Maps page. So that does it for us. Thanks, everybody, for the support. We're an active, duty-owned, family-operated backyard honeybee farm here in southwest Onslow County, doing our part to keep the bees alive. I was just looking at something I need to definitely give some attention to here shortly. And, you know, our goal is to produce the best local and raw honey that y'all can buy from a family-owned business. All right, well, see everybody in 2022 at some point. Thanks for watching.